Hey everybody, Moses here. Just a quick reminder that the giveaway for this month is for the PC37X headset. Easy to enter. The link is down in the description, and I hope you win. Hey y'all, Moses here. Today we're talking about Mavericks Proving Grounds, a game that has been kind of mysterious up until recently. Not a lot of information other than the fact that we knew it was going to be 400 players. We've learned today that that is no longer the case. It is going to be 1,000 players. And with all of that information coming out of E3, I thought I would make this video, show you the trailer that came out with it, and kind of break down all of this new information, an overwhelming amount of information that's come out on Mavericks. Really excited to bring this to you. It's been something that I've been thinking about for the last little while, and a lot of the PUBG player base has as well. So without further ado, let's take a look at the trailer, and we'll break down some of the other information that's come out today. All right, so that was kind of a lot to take in. There's lots of little bits of information in this trailer I'd like to point out to you. I've watched it like 10 times now. I think I've got most of it. I've likely missed something, so let me know if I missed anything down in the comments. But the first thing I want to point out is just this beginning where the character is running through the streets of what appears to be a hub or city of some kind, which mentioned on the website is the case. There is going to be a social hub / main city area where you kind of collect and trade and accept missions, engage with other enemies and allies and whoever else. It's like essentially a social hub. Moving through that, and I'll get to that in detail shortly once we get through this trailer. So the gentleman jumps off this rock and all of a sudden is falling through the air. If the trailer started here, this would look like a simple battle royale game. You can see all the different enemies coming down with him, hits the parachute. Next thing you know, he's on the ground. So grabs the AK here and starts running through, firing. And this is an interesting bit here where he comes into this house. Now, you'll notice there's cracks on the walls here. It says there's a comprehensive destructible environment, but I don't know if you'll be able to actually destroy full buildings. It looks like there's contextual destruction here, at least with this bit where, you know, the bomb goes off, blows him up, kablooey, guy steps through the wall, and it's this guy wearing an interesting outfit with a bird skull on his shoulder and a bone mask and some other stuff. Then the weapon turns into the skin version, I guess, maybe indicating cosmetics of some kind. Still the same gun, just with a different skin on it. And then out this guy goes, and he gets sniped by this guy wearing a pinstripe suit. So lots of detail in the environment, a wooded area here, lots of highs and lows, looks very nice. This is all in-game footage, so it's supposed to be representative of what the game is going to look like. Dynamic weather is shown here as well. And then the fire system. So from the website, they talk about this being a dynamic fire system that propagates depending on the environment. So it'll spread among trees, grasslands, etc., and destroy the environment. So it leaves areas that will be permanently affected, I guess. I don't know how long it would stay burnt for, but regardless, the fire spreads and is contextual. So as we move along, there's a couple of little moments in here, specifically right here, where this guy throws the grenade through the window and the guy makes a sound. You can hear that little, ah. So I'm not sure if that's going to be something that happens automatically or if it's just done for dramatic effect. Regardless, you know, we've only ever seen the AK so far. I guess this AK is like traveling through the trailer with us at this point. You know, it's showing us some first-person footage, but not real in-game footage, I guess you could say. It's not with the HUD and everything. But ultimately an interesting trailer. And then you see the city in the background as well. So I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can. I've already made this video once and it went way too long. So let's talk a bit about some of the stuff that I've learned from the website and that you can find yourself. It's at mavericks.gg, so you can check all this stuff out for yourself. So let's just hit the overview, which, believe me, is only that. There's a lot more information the deeper you go on the website. So from the trailer, we've already seen the comprehensive destruction system, fragmented trees, fragile plaster stud walls, a truly interactive world which will challenge and reward you like never before. The dynamic fire I mentioned already. Guns, believe it or not, they're in the game. Now, the specialist hardware sounds like loot drops. They include things like claymores, booby traps, C4, and some other stuff, but they're rare, so I imagine this is a special loot drop out in the world. Wildlife, littering, footprints, foliage displacement, and blood trails are some of the ways that you will leave your mark on the world. If you use a med kit, for instance, you'll leave an empty package behind, so you're littering the environment. Go green, Vape Nation. And beyond that, it's one of those situations where you have all these little things that make a very vibrant world. Footprints, foliage displacement, blood trails, wildlife that reacts to players as they move around. So all leading to this kind of hunt and seek and destroy situation where you're using all this information to track your enemies around the world. There's a progression system with titles and sprays. A rank system, equipment that you'll get unlocking, so cosmetics, and independent, this is interesting, independent monetization strategy. Mavericks' free-to-play subscription monetization model allows us to develop a game world of unparalleled integrity. Independent player economies and trade restrictions ensure a swift death to the pay-to-win reality that plagues many contemporary multiplayer games. Free trade economy, earn our in-game currency X through play. I think this is supposed to be called bits because that's where they reference elsewhere. I believe it's called bits, either in game mode. This website needs an editor. Either in the game, in either whatever game mode to buy, sell, or trade the huge catalog of in-game items with other players or NPCs in our bustling social hub. This is where I get a little, not concerned, but confused, I guess, where we're getting into MMO territory. We've already talked about the social hub, which sounds like it's from Destiny. And now it sounds like we have this independent player economy that sounds a lot like an MMO, like WoW or EVE. EVE Online has a legendary in-game economy that's 100% player-driven. Makes me wonder what will make it tick. And then it talks about the world a little bit and the dynamic world lighting, real-time time of day, organic destruction, comprehensive structure, and building destruction. Really not sure if it's the whole building you can destroy, kind of like Frostbite, but we'll see. And then the 16 by 16 kilometer Isle of Dern. That's huge. Erangel, including its water, is 8 by 8 kilometers. So massive compared to Erangel. And explore all the different biomes. There's a dynamic weather system. And this is, again, more talking about the social hub and what you'll find there. Really sounding like an MMO. Share your experiences from your awkward failures to epic successes. Every clutch moment and regret with others. Your lobby is your game. Rather than load into a menu in Mavericks, you'll enter our bustling social hub. Sounds just like Destiny or The Division or any other game where you just skip the menu and get into the game. You have mini games, dancing emotes, shoot 'em up. So for those who are like looking for a hardcore military shooter, which I know a lot of you are, dancing emotes. Sorry, rip your dreams. But anyway, shoot 'em up in the shooting range, test your equipment, or browse the shops and try and get a bargain between your games. So a lot of MMO elements here. And then there's the player-driven narrative angle. This again sounds more like Eve. Season 1 of the Proving Grounds marks the beginning of the epic journey and adventure to unfold before you. You, the player, decide the narrative, etc., etc. Choose your allegiance and accept the consequences. Will you support the overlord capital forces or the underdog rebel factions that threaten the stability of the Isles? That sounds very much like Eve. But there is a ton of information. Like, they're still calling themselves Battle Royale, which I think probably makes up the core of the combat. But there's a lot of interesting information. I really encourage you guys to check out the website. There's just little bits in here that is, really makes you wonder about what it's going to be like. So this is more giving me the MMO, because it says it in the up here, MMO shooter genre. Again, looking at Destiny or other games like this. I wonder if weapons have stats, kind of like the Division does, or if it's just flat damage. How is this all going to work together? So you're entering the world of opportunity and consequence. And then there's this bit, which again, stealing from the Division, where you're gathering loot and resources within the world. And then you have an extraction mechanic that is very similar to the Division, where you have a drone overhead that can be compromised and interrupted while you're trying to get stuff out of the world into your bank. So not just Battle Royale. It has a lot of different elements to it that really go way beyond what I thought it would be like. It seems to have a very rich backstory with lore attached. It talks about the different factions that exist. You can go into all of these things and talk about their ideologies and their independent art. This game is extremely deep, as there's just look at the size of this thing. This is a 16 by 16 kilometer map. It talks about all the wildlife, everything all around it. It's a ton of information. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to let you guys learn on your own. I'm interested to know your thoughts. They even have a roadmap here as well. I'm interested to know your thoughts about the game, what you thought about the trailer, where you think it's going to go, and what you're looking forward to, what you're not looking forward to. Are you excited, disappointed, whatever? Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/wtfmoses and on Twitter at wtfmoses. Thank you for taking the time to watch, everybody, and until next time, I'll see you out there.